Overseas right now, the president of Turkey demanding that the United States do something that he says will calm things down after the spectacular failure of a military coup last night. Haley, I'm here, but I'm doing the show. Gunfire, a breakdown of law and order in Turkey's two largest cities, Istanbul and the capital Ankara. Calm again today. Some generals are in jail. 161 people killed overnight, and now the Turkish president, Erdogan, wants the man he says he believes is responsible. This is who that is. A popular cleric who leads a religious movement from his place of self-exile. You see him right there on your screen. The problem for Turkey is that place is the United States. Fethullah Gulen lives in Pennsylvania, of all places. He lives in the Poconos. Turkish President Erdogan calling on President Obama to arrest and extradite him and hand him over. Keep in mind, many American families are very close to the unrest this weekend. Turkey is a NATO ally. Hundreds of U.S. service members and their families are stationed in Turkey. And right now, the air bases are secure. Everyone is reported safe. And all military operations, though, in and out of those air bases are on hold. Let's go live to Istanbul. That is where we find our Ian Lee. Also with us to put this in context is Kimberly Dozier, our global affairs analyst for CNN. Ian Lee, let me go to you first. Quite a different scene there. It is 10:15 at night on the streets of Istanbul. Quite a different scene than we saw play out last night.
Yeah, really quite a difference 24 hours can make, Poppy. Last night we were hearing gunfire, there were explosions taking place, and tonight you're hearing the honking of horns, you're hearing a loudspeaker. These are the supporters of President Erdogan. These are the supporters he called to come to the squares, to fill the streets of not just here in Istanbul, but all over Turkey, to show a force to say that the people stand with the president and against the coup. And that's what we've been hearing over the loudspeakers. And going down there and talking to the people, they say they want to come out to show that they are against the coup, that they're for democracy. And when you ask them, who's responsible for this? The public enemy number one, at least for them, and Erdogan, is Fethullah Gulen. They say he's the one responsible, and they want him either arrested or handed over to Turkey. Poppy.
Kimberly Dozier, do you talk to our viewers about who this man is?
Well, Gulen was a political ally of Erdogan back in the early 2000s. They're both conservative Islamic politicians. They had originally teamed up to fight secular military generals and had been quite successful. But then Erdogan seized power or was elected as prime minister. And then as he got more and more powerful, that's when Gulen said, well, this wasn't what this was supposed to be about. You're simply amassing power for the sake of power. You're becoming a dictator. That's when they broke apart and it started getting ugly. There were a number of investigations launched into Erdogan, his family, and his followers that he blamed on Gulen and his followers, and a lot of those investigations were shut down. That's one of the reasons that you see just now in the aftermath of this coup, almost 3,000 judges have been arrested or fired and been told that they are followers of Gulen. So Erdogan has always seen him as the sort of puppet master of a movement across the country against him.
And Ian, let's also put sort of the relationship between the United States and Erdogan's government in perspective. Yes, we are allies. Yes, they are a major NATO player and ally of the United States. At the same time, what was a secular government has moved further and further away from that. Erdogan has been jailing journalists. He has been jailing members of the media. He has been having much more of an autocratic regime, and therefore there's been strain with the United States, on top of the fact that the West has called on Turkey to do a lot more in the fight against ISIS. But Erdogan has been democratically elected 3 times, and he's very popular. I mean, a lot of the people in the streets last night and tonight are Erdogan supporters, right? He has the will of his people, it seems.
That's right, and that's what's been so vexing for a lot of people here, a lot of rights defenders, is because he does have that popular support and he does win elections, free and fairly. He has arrested journalists, he has threatened journalists, he has threatened human rights campaigners, he has gone after social media, shutting down YouTube at times because saying that it's spreading lies about him. What's interesting in the aftermath of this coup is that you had all these political parties, all the opposition parties, everyone coming together, including Erdogan's party, and saying that they were against the coup, they were united, and they were for democracy. But also, opposition leaders are a bit nervous that this coup could have had the opposite effects, that it emboldens him, empowers him to continue this crackdown, to help consolidate power. And so while you do have this unity for right now, there is fears that this could be even worse moving forward.
Very quickly to you, Kimberly Dozier, do you think that's the case? Does this embolden Erdogan to crack down more?
Absolutely. He's going to use this as an excuse to go after not just the coup plotters, but anyone he saw opposing him. And the U.S. is going to have its hands tied because there's only so much pressure they can bring to bear. They need Incirlik Air Base. They need Turkey's cooperation to defeat ISIS.
Yeah, no question. Kimberly Dozier, thank you so much. Ian Lee live for us tonight in Istanbul. Coming up, live in the CNN